All right, welcome back to the channel. Today I have Mr. Max Schultz on with me. He went from 5K a month to 30K a month last month. And so today we are just going to kind of break down exactly what it was that unlocked that 6x growth. And I know you're seeing a really high return on your ad spend as well. But yeah, man, I just want to say like you've been absolutely crushing it, and I'm really excited for this conversation. So, Max, welcome to the channel, brother. Mind giving us a quick little rundown? Who are you? What do you do? And then we'll take it from there.
100%, man. Yeah, thank you for having me. It's quite surreal, like sitting on the other side of this. Um, like you said, yeah, I was previously at roughly 5K to like 5,500 a month. Took that up to 30K, and so it's just been incredible, to say the very least. I'll kind of give you like a backstory. Like before I got into coaching, I was doing real estate. I was in real estate development in Florida. We were killing it, having a lot of fun, and it was fine. Like the money was great and everything, but it's not what I actually wanted to do. I wanted to be in a position more where I was like actually helping people. And so money kind of went up, but like mental health went like way down because I didn't feel aligned like with what I felt like I should be doing. So kind of forced me to like take some time to focus on my mental health. And I did. And I was able to overcome the anxiety, overcome some depression, and then equally, if not more important, find my purpose in life, which is helping people. And I have gotten like infinitely more fulfillment out of that than I ever did seeing these like massive seven figures check come in through real estate and properties that were just crazy, through just coaching and like actually helping people transform their lives. And it was funny, man, because when I started with coaching, I had no proven system. I had no idea what I was doing. I was doing everything through organic marketing. And I spent, dude, over like really collectively about 2 years organic marketing on like Twitter, because that's where I told like this is where it's at. And man, I didn't see more than like 10K over the course of, basically like a year of grinding through the organic marketing thing. And then, well, yeah, one day our boy Nick Sweeney, he told me about you, and he said all the success that he's had through you. And I started checking out your YouTube, started kind of seeing what was going on with Instagram, and I just kept seeing the testimonials, and I just kept seeing like, okay, something like serious is happening over here. And it was funny, man, because I had been so against the idea of spending money on ads. It was like a limiting belief. Like I had been so like indoctrinated into believing like no, like screw that, like I got to do it the organic way. It's more of a grind, but then like I'll be like, one of these huge organic guys that made it. And you said something which was like, yeah, sure, like you can try organic for like 5 years and maybe you make it, maybe you don't, not a guarantee, or you can just collapse the amount of time, spend some money, and turn $1 into multiple. And I got to the point where I was like, I can't sustain on the organic path that I'm on. I want a proven system. I know that it's working for my friend. I see all the other people you're helping. I know it's working for them. And when I did that and made that leap, uh, like I said, I went from random sporadic, like $5,500 a month, 5K months to 30K a freaking month, like that. And my only regret is like, why didn't I do this like a year ago? You know what I mean? So, I mean, man, to put it simply, like, the everything increased, like the amount of people I'm helping increased. I ran into like, like limits, like self-imposed limits that I had. So I had to overcome some internal things, had to like really understand and learn how to scale. And it just pushed me to every limit possible. And because of that, I've become more capable of helping other people. I've become more capable of providing for my family. And I mean, dude, like really, like I don't put this lightly. My life is not the same. Like I am not the same since joining your program. Everything is like completely different now. I have leveled up in ways I did not or could not have conceived. So, dude, shout out to you. Hope that kind of covers it.
Wow, dude. So,
Yeah.
so powerful. And yeah, I just want to say too, man, like it's so cool watching your progress too, because I just know how big of a heart you have. And
Yeah.
like the impact you're actually having on the clients that you're working with is just so, so powerful. And so it just makes me So happy to see you absolutely just win. Um, Talk to me a little bit
Thank you,
about
bro.
the offer. Like,
Yeah.
if somebody watching is like, okay, they're probably wondering, okay, like what is the offer? How do you have it like structured? What's the pricing? What do you help people with? Stuff like that.
100%. So I help high performers. So whether you're an athlete, you're working a 9 to 5, you're in corporate, or you're just an entrepreneur, you're a business owner. I help nine. I help high performers overcome and eliminate self-sabotage and anxiety, right? And so what I really mean by that is when I had my real estate company, I knew all the strategies, all the systems, everything. I had all the wisdom from these people that had been in the game forever. But none of that mattered because my foundational state, like who I was internally, how I felt internally, was someone who was really anxious, lost, and just felt like I kept getting in my own way and I didn't know why. I knew everything I had to do, I knew how to do everything, but I just wouldn't live up to it. I wouldn't do it. I would never reach that potential. And I didn't know why. And it was driving me freaking crazy because it was like this invisible wall I kept running into. And so it became one of the, one of the golden rules of entrepreneurship is like, if you want to be an entrepreneur, solve a problem for yourself and then solve it for others, right? And so I was looking at this and I had experienced really bad levels of anxiety for the majority of my life. And it kept getting in the way of me and the person that I wanted to become, the life that I wanted to embody, the what life I wanted to have. And so that was really frustrating because, I tried meditation, I tried breath work, I tried supplements, I got blood work, I saw doctors. I was trying literally everything. And I was lucky enough to be able to spend a lot of money to try to figure it out. But like nothing was working at actually getting rid of my anxiety. Nothing was helping me actually get rid of my own, get out of my own way. And that's when I started to feel kind of like helpless because I was like, dang, dude, like I don't want to keep living like that where I feel like I can ever reach my potential and live up to that of this version of me I had in my head. And it just became so frustrating that it created this fire in my soul, dude, where I was like, I literally will not give up like until I figure out what's going on and how to overcome this. And eventually, through like 2 years of trial and error, I figured out how to overcome the anxiety. I got out of my own way. And then fast forward to now, I have my own business. I'm more fulfilled than I've ever been in my entire life. I'm helping people for a living and I'm making 30K plus a month. And that number is only increasing. And I'm doing it in a way that feels completely and fully aligned with who I actually am as a person. And so, I mean, dude, like I genuinely, my girlfriend and I were talking about it yesterday. She's like, if I told you you were where you are now a year ago, you wouldn't have believed me. I said, I know. I wouldn't have believed you at all. It's like that thing you say about what matters most, like time or money to you, because you can collapse the amount of time it's going to take to become who you want, but you have to make that investment. As soon as I heard you say that, it was such a no brainer, man. So that's what I did. That really supercharged things. You asked about the pricing. With the pricing as well, before the Miami Mastermind, I was all over the place with my pricing. Am I charging too high? Am I charging too little? I went from like 1,500 to like 3K, and I was really getting like no bites. And then at that mastermind, you guys taught me, you were like, like, why are you only charging 3K? Like, if you can actually help someone get rid of their anxiety, if like you can actually help someone get out of their own way, why is it only 3K? And so after that, I upped my prices to 5 and they'll be going up to 7 next month. And so it's like that was like another really big limiting belief that I shifted was like, dude, this is a quality service. The price should match the quality. You know what I mean? And when I saw that, my self-worth also skyrocketed because I realized I was like, I know for a fact that this works. And so I started seeing all of this external success as soon as my internal state shifted as well. And I got rid of the limiting beliefs. I got rid of the mindset that wasn't serving me. And that's really what my business is all about. Like I do that for other people. I get them out of their own way. I get rid of the anxiety so that they can ultimately become that idealized version of them that they have in their heads. You know what I mean?
Dude, that's so good. And
Yeah.
one of the things, the key things you mentioned there is like you just feel so much alignment.
Yeah.
I see far too many people build a business that they hate because they're building it like the wrong way and they end up doing things that like they don't actually enjoy doing. And they kind of yeah, they just kind of build this big old monster that kind of just sucks and isn't very profitable or fun. And so it's super cool to see that like you've just been very intentional with that too. And I love what you mentioned there at the end too about being like about raising the price, but also that kind of just being a reflection of what's going on inside. And
Yes.
so I know that was a huge thing too. And for those that are listening right now, so about a month ago is when we had the mastermind in Miami. So we had probably what, like 25, 30 of us there, and
Yeah.
spent 5 days together. And it was just so surreal. And literally right after that, dude, like I don't even like, I think it was like the day we left, you just had like a 10K day or something like it was bananas. Like, what was it that like
Bro,
really triggered that?
being surrounded by the people that you like cultivated at that retreat and talking to people, Austin, other coaches there, uh, who were just telling me like, like if we had a 10K month, like that would mean that our business was like in some serious trouble. And I felt like a physical and mental like sensation in my head of like literally like limiting beliefs, like feeling like they were being dissolved. Like I had put 10K a month on a pedestal for so long, that magic 10K number. And so I idolized it. And because of that, I was always chasing it. And to chase something implies that it's running away. You know what I mean? And almost like you don't deserve it. Like you naturally, aren't someone who's like worthy of like hitting that number or worth that. You know what I mean? And so like so many things changed during that mastermind that as soon I got it was in Miami. My parents are in Naples. So I drove 2 hours from Miami to Naples. I took a sales call that night. And you guys told me that you were like, dude, like raise your price. Like, why wouldn't you raise your price? I get home and I decide this is not 3K anymore. This is five. And I had a sales call the same day. I closed it 5K. I was like, okay, I just hit my monthly average in like one call. I had another sales call, a few hours after that, closed it 10K. And I was sitting there after the Zoom ended, like just sitting, like staring at the wall, like what just happened? I was almost in like disbelief, dude. I could not believe it. I was still, like coming off of the mastermind, like a little tired. We learned so much. We were so productive. Like the mind was a little fuzzy. And all I knew of was like I just doubled what I usually earn in a month in less than 24 hours of that mastermind. And that's when I was like, dude, what just happened? Like, and then close out that month at 30K. And I just like, I'm still in disbelief, bro. I'm praying that this is like not a dream, straight up. I'm like, dude, please don't wake up. So yeah,
Wow. So cool, dude. So
yeah,
cool. And what's really cool too about it is like before Miami, like you had the foundation set, right? Like you've been in the program for a little bit and the foundations were set. And really what was like that big needle mover was everything just in here, right? Inside. And so that's super cool. I'm curious to know too, and it might be a little too early to tell, but maybe not. Over the last month, like the new clients that you signed up, have you noticed like a shift in them and like how they carry themselves and like their commitment and performance over
it's
the
a
last
night.
month?
It's dude, it's so funny you asked that because the type of clients that I've been attracting in it's like a night and day difference. They carry themselves much more authentically. And since the price is higher too, there's something about that which we've spoken about before, where like they're not there to mess around. Like they recognize that this is an investment into themselves and they treat it as such because of that. And so just the level of dedication that you see when you kind of become someone better and when you raise your prices to attract that in as well, again, it's an internal and external game. Everything changes, and therefore it's more fulfilling because it's like your clients, the people you're speaking to every day, are naturally just go-getters, and that's so invigorating to be around, man. It's just like a feedback loop. It's like everyone is hyped all day. It's amazing.
Dude, that's awesome. That's
Yeah,
awesome. And what's really cool too, like I notice this after every single live event that we do, is
yeah.
just people just explode right after because like the in-person energy is just so different. And like you
Mm,
said, it's like just surrounding yourself with people who have like bigger visions and just like or just kind of thinking bigger and a little bit further down the road. Like
yeah.
it just kind of forces you to like wake up and be like, dude, what have I been limiting myself to? Like you said. And like yesterday here, one of my mentors, like Dan Martell, hosted an event, and 100 people came here. And anyways, I was talking to one of my buddies. He's like doing 1 million a month. He's like, yeah, goal is to do like 25 million a year. And then I think should be good then. He's like, yeah, I think we can do that with like, I don't know, maybe just like a few more people. I'm like, holy shit, I'm playing way too small.
Yeah. Yeah, but isn't that incredible though, man? Like what you just said, right when you said that, it reminded me of this concept where I think I forget what type of fish it is, but this certain species of fish will grow in proportion in size to the size of its environment, the body of water that it's in. And so the smaller the pond that that fish stay in, it will not grow as big as it's actually, its potential to grow. It will stay smaller to match the size of the pond or the lake, whatever it's in. And it is no different with our minds in the circles we surround ourselves in, the environments. Again, man, as soon as I got to Miami, I'm just sitting there like a fly on the wall. I told you right when I got there, I said, I could probably guarantee I'm making the least amount of money here, but I don't care. Like that excites me because that just means I'll see the most significant of a change right after this. I didn't know how it was going to happen, didn't know why, but I knew it would happen. And then, yeah, it was just being around people that are talking about doing like 100 and 200K a month regularly and how a bad month is like 50K. It like, I was like, wait, what? Like, what am I doing? You know what I mean? And it just like, it's the only way I can put it is it snapped me out of whatever days I was in. And it made me realize like, you guys just inspired me. I was like, there's no reason I can't go do that. I believe in what I'm doing. I need to go do that. And then it just everything fell in line after that. It's just how it was. So I agree
So
with you completely.
so good, man. Um, I'm curious to know, like, because that was your first time being at one of our events. Like, what was your expectation, or like, what was like, yeah, what was your expectation going into it, and what was something that like kind of surprised you,
Mm.
whether good or bad?
The expectation, like looking back into it, all I knew was that there was going to be a lot to learn. Like I didn't know specifics, what I was really expecting. All I knew was I'm going into a really big pond. And so there were some nerves there because I was like, all these guys are doing way more than me. They know a lot more than me. But I didn't really perceive that as a source of like discouragement. I was super hyped because it's like, dude, a high tide raises all ships. And I was in that tide with you guys. So I knew I was like, as me being a part of this collective at this event, something is going to happen. I don't know what that looks like yet, but I know that I'm going to be raised up with these people in terms of mindset and then the direct outcome of how much I'm earning per month. And so that was kind of like the before I got there, I didn't really know what to expect. I just knew it was going to be huge. And then one of the big things that surprised me was that like again, we idolize people like who are making a ton of money per month as there's something fundamentally different about this human being than me. Like I don't know what I need to do to close this gap to get where they are. And it's almost like they aren't even like human anymore when you're on this like pedestal. And what I realized was just everyone is like so human and it's not that they have like some certain crazy secrets. It's just that they've done things to get where they want to go. And they are the type of people that say, this is what I want. I know how I'm going to go get there. Let's go fucking get it. And being surrounded by that, it's like, you can't not feel excited. You can't not feel like, yeah, like, let's go hunting. You know what I mean? And so that was one of the things I think that surprised me was just how freaking ready everybody was. It really encouraged me, like how ready everybody was to change their own lives. I was like, dude, these are my people for sure, man. So,
So good.
dude, it was just awesome. Yeah.
I had a very similar experience like that too. Like the first time I met someone in person, because like I'm from
Yeah.
Western Canada, like it's pretty isolated out here. Like, or at least like when I first got in the game a few years ago, like I didn't really know anybody. And
Mhm.
the first time I met up, like I met someone from online in person that was doing like 100K a month plus, I was like, okay, if this guy can do it, like he's no different than me, you know? And it's like he's just like Austin said, just a little bit further down the road than me. That's all. And so it's super cool. But yeah, there's something about the in-person energy, man. It's just it does something different. It flicks a different switch, doesn't it?
100%. Yeah, like it really does. I mean, energy is contagious. Like you're around people. I remember standing, I was kind of like a fly on the wall of you and Austin, and just you guys were like strategizing and talking about business. And again, I felt like I was so dumbfounded. I was like, this is such high level thinking, and the way you guys are planning in your time horizons was so long term. You were talking about retreats and all these things in the future you guys had planned. And I was just like, that saying, there's been so many sayings we've said, but they really all stick out. It's like you are who you surround yourself with. It really started to like hit home at that retreat. I was like, okay, I get that now completely, because this is a different level completely, man.
So good.
Yeah.
So good. Cool. Let's talk about let's roll our sleeves up and get our hands dirty a little bit. Let's talk about the marketing funnel. Because like
For
somebody
sure.
watching this probably like, how can I hit 30K a month? Right. Maybe
Hmm.
they probably put that on a pedestal for a long time. They're probably grinding it out with organic. Like when it comes to that side of stuff, because obviously like you gotta you gotta pair the mindset, the identity, the beliefs internally with kind of like the external action and the systems and ads
Hmm.
and stuff like that. Like tell me a little bit about what that was like for you. Like how are people finding you right now? What's that looking like? And like how's that different from even just a few months ago?
It's really different. A few months ago, like I said, I was playing it small. I started a new Instagram account because I didn't want to post on my personal Instagram account because there was some fear of how old friends would judge and whatever. So in
Mhm.
other words, I was actually putting myself last. And so that was one of the other big things that changed. Is I stopped that immediately. I was like, no, 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 no. Like I'm not. I'm choosing myself. Like I have my back. Because if not me, then who else, right? And so it makes so much sense. A few months ago, I was doing organic on Twitter. I started with a new Instagram account and I wasn't seeing a lot. And then, like I said, we started working together. I started posting on my personal Instagram account, which at the time had 1,400 followers. You taught me really like how to make an effective ad. And I love that, like the community that you've built too, so much. Like it's so effective because after I learned how to make a really good ad from you, I could basically get it battle tested before I actually ever go out into battle in the community. Like, hey guys, what does everyone feel about this? How could I improve it? Like, how can it be better? You get real life feedback from literally hundreds of people before it actually goes out and you ever spend $1 on it. That in and of itself, like, where else are you going to get that type of feedback? It doesn't happen. You know what I mean? Most people will just launch like blindly and not really know what others think about it, right? Other than maybe one or two other people. So, the funnel is you taught me how to launch the ads. I launched the ads and I'm posting organic content as well still to nurture the audience. And dude, I haven't even done swipe up retargeting ads yet. That's like a whole different story. But once those are on, it's that's 40K right there. Who knows? But anyways,
Oh
probably
yeah.
more. Um, so yeah, the funnel right now, man, is I continued posting organic and then I launched a few ads. I tested them against each other, cut the losers, boosted the winners. And I've just continued doing that. And then I hired an appointment setter because this is the other thing, man. I hired an appointment setter before I technically was like supposed to, right? Like, not that there's rules, but like, I
Mhm.
just know that it's very draining for me to be in the DMs, doing a bunch of follow ups, doing all that stuff. And so I delegated that to someone who was hungry for it, right? And sure, it was an investment, and I was spending money it was burning money to get off the ground. But keyword, it's just an investment. And so I hired someone who was hungry. He started killing it. As a result, I went from having like a call booked every 2 weeks to a call literally booked every single day. And then it went from like to 3 calls a day and then 4 calls a day. And then I was like, holy shit, like how do I structure this? Because now I can't turn the hose off. Right. And so I set up like these kind
Huh.
of bumpers on my business. Like, okay, I'm not taking like 11 p.m. calls anymore. I'm ending my calls at like 8 p.m. because I need to spend some time with my girl. I need to like watch some like movies, just need to like chill out. I did that, gained back control over like my time. Now I'm taking calls literally all day until like 8 p.m. Uh, Closing a bunch of business, helping a lot of people. So the funnel really is going from just Instagram ads, funneling in, converting them. And then my program is like 8 weeks. So it's 4 weeks of working one on one together for like 90-minute sessions. And then the back 4 weeks is like the support. So maintenance, like, hey, like what's still coming up? If anything, usually it's nothing, but it's there as like support. And yeah, man. And I don't even have a community yet. And so that's the next thing that I'm building out is like a school community in Slack, just like yours, because
Wow.
of the obvious reasons. The next step for me right now, it's one on one. After that, there's going to be group containers too. So I can help a ton of people in like one day a week. And then after that, the next arm is community and then retreats. So I'm going to be hosting in-person retreats outside of like national parks in the US and then Banff, Canada eventually. And dude,
Oh,
like
let's go.
the plan is ripping right now. Yeah, it's good.
I was gonna ask about that too, kind of like what the vision is, because
Hmm.
you mentioned like when you're kind of just the fly on the wall for like me and Austin, just like hearing us talk about kind of yeah, like longer term plans and thinking bigger and stuff. I was gonna ask, but it sounds like you got that in the
Hmm.
bag, dude.
Oh, dude, I'm so dialed in. Yeah, there's like three arms to the business right now. It's one-on-one coaching, and then I'm also going to offer like a group coaching for the people who couldn't afford one-on-one. I got everyone's info. They're all going to get funneled into the cheaper group coaching, and then it's community, and then it's retreats. And the retreats I'm pumped about. And I mean, you were like a huge inspiration for that because like my life literally changed after I implemented everything I learned at your retreat. Like actually changed my entire freaking life. And so I'm like, that's so powerful and I can see the benefit of this. And so I'm just going to be offering the same thing now,
So
just
good.
with, yeah, my offer. So yeah, man.
Love that. Let me know when you're coming up to Banff. I just that's where everything started for me actually when I worked at the hotel there.
Really?
Yeah, I used to
No
work
way,
there in
man. That's
2017. It's when I read Think and Grow Rich for the first time. It was like my first like business book,
oh, wow,
and
man.
then kind of
That's
kick-started
incredible.
everything. Yeah, and I told myself one day, I don't know when or how, but I'm gonna I'm gonna be back here. I'm gonna be on the other side, the one being served instead of serving. And I was making like 2K a month, working 6 days a week at the time,
Wow.
and I went back there like I think 2 summers ago,
Mm,
and it was like 2K a night, and it was just unreal.
dude,
It's like, man,
crazy.
such a full circle moment. Super
Full
cool.
circle.
I actually
Man,
vlogged it
that's,
too. So there's a vlog on the channel way back then.
yeah,
But yeah, man, that's so cool. And
yeah.
the community is gonna be so cool too. Like as you continue to build that up, and just
Hmm.
add more people in there and like higher level people, and it's just gonna spiral into something like so special that you like could never really have imagined. And so I'm
Yeah.
really excited for you, brother. It's gonna be
I really appreciate that, man. Yeah, thank you. That's awesome hearing your story. Like how full circle that situation is for you, man, is like inspiring. Like it's so poetic to see things like that pan out. Like when you started reading Think and Grow Rich and you were working at that hotel, did you know what you wanted to do, or did it just plant that seed that you were meant for something great?
no idea, man. I had no
Wow.
clue. Yeah, because after that, I like started like looking into like ecom and drop shipping, and then like
Yeah.
it was like crypto for like a year in like 2020, and then yeah, and then eventually like learned how to build websites, and then I was like that sucks, and then SEO, I was like that sucks, and then I kind of got in ads, and I was like okay, I got something here. Started an agency, hated that. After I grew it to like 7, 8K a month, and then worked for another coach, ran his ads, closer, CSM, and then helped him scale and then did went out on my own and started Summit. So yeah, I hadn't like dude, 3 years ago, I would not have even guessed that I'm doing what I'm doing now. But that's the thing too. It's like action is what leads to clarity. We
Mm.
try to think in our heads like we want to have every little step meticulously planned out, but at the end of the day, it's like if there's like a lot of fog right in front of us, it's like the only way we're going to get through the fog is by just taking a step and trusting the process, and then the path will reveal itself.
Dude, there's this quote that you just reminded me of so hard. And it says, if the path before you is clear, you're on somebody else's path. If the path before you is unclear, you're on the right path. You're on your path. And oh, dude, it gave me chills thinking about it because I had no idea. I was like the real estate guy back then. That's like what I
Yeah.
wanted to do. And it was clear where that was going. In other words, not my path. And so many of the people at the mastermind you hosted and just in the online community that you have the same story as you and I, which is like they tried drop shipping, they tried ecom, they tried all the automation things. It's like everyone has been in those places and they're scrambling to try to figure it out. And the beautiful thing is we all wound up in high ticket coaching and coaching of some sort. And the amazing thing about that is you're not just like selling some like pointless product. You're not selling like a pointless service. You're doing something that you're probably have a very big passion of solving a problem that you yourself have overcome. And so naturally your fuel source to accomplish this and run a business from that place is so much more potent because you're like, you know what? If you're a fitness coach, it's like I know what it was like to be overweight and I know how good I felt when I lost that weight. Or for me, I know what it was like to be anxious. I know what it felt like to not be anxious. Creating from that place is like limitless. Like you can really, I mean, I get off my calls feeling more energized than I did getting on. That's the type of business this is. Do you know how rare that is? Like, but that's what you've cultivated, man. Like it's an incredible thing.
That's so cool. Yeah. Coaching's funny, man, 'cause it's like I think it's like the worst type of business for people to start
Mhm.
that don't have experience. And but then the best one to run when you've actually gone through your shit and you've been kicked in the teeth and dragged through the mud for a while and you finally got through to the other side, you figured it out, and then you get a lot of fulfillment from helping other people do that as well. And one quote that Dan says all the time is like, when you make it to the top, make sure you send the elevator back down. And
Oh
it
my
just
God.
encapsulates it so well. It's just like, yeah, man, it's because like we've all been there. Like the reason
Mm.
I do what I do and help people with ads is because I know what it's like growing my agency, man. I used to like I got my first client ever from cold calling. And then I'd make I'm literally remember having like a vision of it right now, just in my journal. I had like a written like date timer before you ever knew what Google Calendar was.
Mm.
And every day I just write a checklist of like all the tasks I had to do. And one was I had to send 10 cold loom emails to mortgage brokers. And like, so I'd record a custom loom video going over their website and speaking, like customizing, personalizing it, and then send it fired off cold. And then like maybe one would reply or two or three. And then most of them are telling me to screw off. And I just did that every single day, just focus on the inputs. And then like, but it was a grind. And then from there, yeah, built a brand on LinkedIn a little bit. And then that
Mhm.
actually helped like warm people up and nurture them. But it was still like just so limited and such a grind too. And then
Mhm.
finally, once you started ripping ads, that's when like that coach I used to work for, we scaled from like 40K a month to like 220. And we're just ripping Instagram ads. And I was like, okay, this is what works. And yeah, it's pretty special that we have the opportunity to be in the seats that we're in right now and
Mm.
help other people go through what we had to go through the hard way. So that's super
The
cool, man.
beautiful thing about the coaching industry, man, which I feel like you just highlighted perfectly, is to like no matter your religious views, no matter like anything, any political views, whatever you have, one thing is for sure in the coaching business, like your entire goal, the entire foundation of your business model is I want to help people. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
so, in my opinion, like there's no morally aligned business better than coaching to do that. Like it's like you want to leave the world a better place than you found it. You want to leave people better than you found them. How has that been for you? Because man, I've thought about this before. You have probably like 100 notifications per day in the Winch channel of straight up just people's like lives changing on a daily basis, dude. Like, what is the experience of like seeing that and knowing that you're just straight up like changing people's lives? Like, what is that like, dude?
It's yeah, it's pretty surreal, man. Like it never gets old.
Yeah.
And like a lot of my team channel with my team, like um it's literally just like, yo, just got off a call with this client. They're like absolutely ripping, or like somebody posts a win and then we're like, hell yeah. Like, and like we forward it and share it to like the team channel. It's like, dude, like they were kind of stuck for a while. And then like all of a sudden, like this one little thing changed and all of a sudden, boom. And so it's super, super rewarding because yeah, I think what a lot of people like, I don't know, like it's so interesting just kind of thinking out loud here. Like when it comes to like client wins and client resolves, is like if you think about it, every time you sign a client, like your reputation is at stake.
Mm,
And every single client, like even if just one person has a bad experience, that damages your reputation slowly over time. And
yeah.
so whenever I like meet other guys or talk to other guys in the space, they're like, "Oh, have you heard of this guy?" And then I'm like, "Yeah, yeah." And then someone else is like, "Oh yeah, I heard a story of somebody that I know worked with them before, and like it wasn't that great." And then all of a sudden, I'm like, "Oh, okay, I'm never touching them," right? And so just like the slightest little thing can have such a bad consequence or a bad impact on that. And so like at least at the start anyways, like I was so motivated and driven by like the fear of not being able to deliver results because I just didn't want people to be like mad at me. And
Yeah,
so there's definitely a lot of like inner like work with that. Um,
for sure.
but now it's like so almost like yeah, it was like the motivation was like running away from the fear of that, from the potential pain of that. And but then you get to a point where it kind of like flips from like dark energy to lighter energy where it's like, all right,
100%.
now I just want to build because I just want to like keep serving people and like regardless of like as long as my intentions are in the right place and they're aligned with where they're supposed to be, then people are going to get results and long to keep improving it, making it better and all that kind of stuff, then yeah, it's good. But yeah,
Dude,
it's
one thing, like, can I tell you what that just reminded me of?
yeah.
Something I tell my clients all the time who feel like they're like really worried about like how they're showing up or like perceived by others, and they're really worried like, am I like a good person? Like there's like this recurring theme in the work that I do with people. It's like, am I like actually a good person? Like it concerns me. Like, what if I'm like actually not? One of the biggest things is like a bad person is not concerned about being a bad person. They don't care. You know what I mean? Like it wouldn't be bothering them. It wouldn't be keeping them up. It wouldn't phase their internal state. Like they just wouldn't care. You know
Hmm.
what I mean? So it comes back to this whole thing of like, if you're someone who's wondering, like, am I doing the right thing? Like, how can I be doing better? Like, what could I be doing more of? How could I be serving? I want to make sure I don't do this. Like inherently, all of that is indicative and pointing back to the point of like, you're a great person. It's just as simple as that, you know?
So good, man. I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. When I was the second last time I was in Florida was in December, and I spent a day with Ed Milet at his house. And one of the things he talks about is your intentions and
Mhm.
how that's like everything as well. And I think you just nailed it right there too. It's like if you're concerned or worried about that, then that means your intentions are in the right place because you want to do good and you actually care about it. And that's why you're concerned about it. So yeah, dude, I love that. So good.
Bro, it's beautiful too. Cause like if you look, for some reason, I thought of like hotels, like really high-end hotels that are always wondering how can they be better hosts to their guests, are
Yeah.
always asking, what am I doing wrong? And so we get confused because we attach to like, what am I doing wrong? And so you're always focused on like, what am I not doing good enough? But in reality, what you're really doing is like, how can I improve the experience of everyone that I'm coming into contact with? And so it's important to like have both sides of that. Like one, yes, it's true. Sure, there's always areas you can improve. But then number two, it's like being grateful that you're even asking that question or that you're even concerned with something like that, because a lot of people aren't. And the quality of service you give people, dude, is second to none. Like genuinely. Even people I spoke to about you were like, oh, dude, I've heard great things. And then I told them my experience with you, and they're like, oh, yeah, that checks out. Like, you know
Wow.
what I mean, dude? It's just obvious. Yeah.
That's super cool. That's
Yeah.
really cool. I had a an onboarding call with a client this morning actually, and I was like, "Yeah, dude, like, how are things coming along?" He joined last week. Like, I didn't even have a call with him yet. He just like went through the training, launched an ad, spent 150 bucks, signed a client for 1,500 a month. Usually they stay for like 6 months, and just like straight out the gate, like a 10x return month one. That's gonna just compound. And one thing that was really cool, and like it doesn't get old, man. It really doesn't. Sometimes you kind of get a little numb to it, like when there's like a lot of volume. But then again, it's like you kind of just have to ground yourself. You're like, this is like a real person, and they're like,
Yeah.
wow, like yeah, we're doing something right here. And but anyways, he's like, dude, I finally like I haven't been through like a program like this before, where he's like he's world class, and he's like one like here's some value as well. Like one
Yeah.
thing that he mentioned is like the fact that there's like a definition of done at like each stage as you go through like each module. He's like, that's so key. He's like, literally, I took that, applied it to our program. We're going to kind of redo things because before it's just like we just threw a bunch of stuff together and it's like kind of a scattered mess. Now he's like, there's like a clear like sequence to events and a
Mm.
definition of done for each stage. So it's like you have to like unlock that, like finish this thing to unlock the next almost. And he's like,
Yeah.
even just having that clarity. around seeing how your program is structured, that gave me so much clarity on that first sales call that we booked from from that ad, where I was able to communicate my pitch so much clearer and they signed up. Whereas before I was struggling to pitch. And so like even just like subtle things like that was just so cool. And like I don't mean to toot my own horn there, but I think it's like it's super cool. And just because, yeah, like you asked about that, and it's so cool to see like the subtle like side consequences of it too that you never would even like expect to be a thing, you know?
100%. And like I know what you mean when you say you kind of get numb to it. It's the same thing with me. Like I have clients every day that send me like paragraph long texts. You know, I'm throwing throw every one of them on the Instagram story. But it's just like about people feel like they can like breathe again. People can go to sleep and like not freak the hell out with panic attacks, and like
Yeah.
their businesses get better, their lives get better. To a point, it's almost like you're seeing the same text coming in. So there's a part of you that's like a little bit more numb to it. And then the other thing that hit me was it was actually because I joined your program. I thought about this when I was going through the Wins channel. I was like, I wonder if Jeremy knows like how many people are talking about him on a daily basis, like behind their closed doors, like with their families. As a result of people meeting you, they're able to have dinners every single night. They're able to go out every single night. They're able to buy the car of their dreams. Like people are talking about you. There was a saying, it was like, you want to make sure you surround yourself with people who talk really good behind your back, not really bad behind your back. You have a
Yeah.
lot of people talking really good behind your back, man. Like hundreds, probably thousands at this point. You know what I mean? So I think, and the team that you've brought in is world class too. Like, tell me another service where people literally love the closer of that business. Like, dude,
Yeah.
everyone on your team and the setter, it's like, bro, the whole team is just amazing. Like everyone you've attracted in. And so, again, I think it's really just all a reflection of you. And I think that's why it works so well because, like, you're kind of like that North Star for all the other coaches in the program who are trying to emulate how to build out their businesses, how to build out their programs. You know what I mean? On the front end and back ends. And so it's just a great example to follow, to like lead by and to set.
Dude, thank you.
Yeah,
That
man.
that means the world to me. And yeah, I think that just like puts so many things into perspective there, just
Yeah.
about the people talking behind your back and stuff like that. It's pretty cool. And
Yeah.
I appreciate you saying that. But yeah, man, I know we're coming up on time here. I know you're a busy man, which is a great problem to have now.
It is. Yeah.
So I don't want to take up too much more of your time, but like, what would you say to somebody who's, yeah, kind of just stuck in the organic grind, feeling like they hit a plateau, they're grinding it out, they have this big vision of what they want to achieve and what they want to build, but they're just not really seeing any progress towards that.
Mhm. Most people live by saying, when this, then that. If this, then that. And what I mean by that is, like, myself included, it was like, okay, when I get to like 10K a month, then like I'll try to figure out another way to do things to get more money in, to get more clients in, whatever it is. You know, when I lose 50 pounds, like then I'll be more happy. When this certain things happens, then like I can start investing money. You know, when I start making more money, then I can invest more money. My advice to you is you need to completely reverse that equation. Like, if you want to be happier, if you want to have a better business, if you want to have a better impact on your clients, you need to like become that person now and do what that version of you would do. The highest version of you, what would he do? Would he make an investment into himself, or would he procrastinate for 5 months down the road when organic might or might not start paying off? No, he would make the investment into himself and start trying things. One of the things Mark Zuckerberg says is move fast and break shit. I had one of like my best traits, not to toot my own horn like that, but I really am like okay with investing large sums of money into myself because I like seeing the outcomes. I invested into a couple other coaches in your industry, and it didn't really go well. But I still knew that like if I found the right coach to help me set up something, it would literally change my entire life. And so it's an investment. So the advice I'd give to someone if you're on the fence about joining the program or if you're looking into it and you're even lightly considering it is it's really hard to ignore evidence. And Jeremy has a shitload of evidence of people's lives changing. And my advice to you would just be take emotions out of it and think logically about this situation. if you truly do want to close the gap between who you are now and who you're trying to become, you have to get logical and start asking, what does it take to actually close that gap? You need to have skills. You need to be surrounded by people who are going to improve you. Think again, high tide raises all ships. And you need to have systems in place to do that, internal and external. And Jeremy has an overwhelming amount of evidence that his approach works. It changed my life. It changed a lot of my friends' life in the program. And I would just, life is short, man. Tomorrow's not guaranteed. Like, if you want something, you need to go get it. Like, don't waste time. Change your life today. Why would you wait till tomorrow? That's my advice.
Max, you're a freaking legend, brother.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Appreciate
It's
you, bro.
so cool to be a part of your journey and just to see what you've been able to do. And most importantly, who you've been able to become as well and who you're becoming. And yeah, man, I can't wait to see where you take things from here. And I know that you're just going to keep doing incredible things and have such a big, powerful, positive impact on the world and everybody around you. So yeah, man, I know you have a lot of people talking so good about about you behind your back as well. And that's only just going to keep growing and compounding. So keep being awesome, brother. I appreciate you more than you.
Appreciate you, bro. Thank you so much, man. Really appreciate you.
Likewise. Well, that said, you know what to do. Ready to shrink that gap? Book call down below. Let's rock and roll. Aside from that, see you in the next one. Thanks for coming on, Max.
Peace.